Welcome to If I Die, the video ends, but this time it's Red Dead Redemption 2, which I thought would be an interesting video for this, because it's not really a survival crafty game, which is what I did last time, and I kind of figured that this would be more of, but this game does have the potential for you to die, so I'm thinking that I'm going to do some hunting. I want to go back to the camp first, and then I can see what supplies I want, make a list, and then like go out shopping. Except instead of shopping, it's hunting. Alright, it's this way. We'll see what nonsense I get up to on the way, you know?
Hey, mister, can you help me? Please help me?
No, I don't want to aim my bow at you. Yeah, what's
My
up?
damn horse died on me and my legs hurt and I need to get home.
No, not your legs.
You know.
Oh, you kind, mister.
I like that you can just run into these things.
To take me to LeGras. That's where I'm from. That's where my people is from.
Where the fuck is LaCrosse? It's like way the fuck. Alright, we're going on a detour. Already my plans are not up for snuff.
Sure, that's fine.
Don't normally trust no outside man. No offense, mister. Just don't trust them much.
No, you shouldn't trust
Well,
men.
all right, ma'am. I don't trust him much either.
Yeah.
You seem like a horse rider, yeah, your whole life, I bet. Horse don't help much in LeGras, no. Neither horse can swim fine as a duck, be much more used to us. Last horse we bought got his foot stuck in the mud, gator came and ripped his leg off. The horse just wobbling in the water, another gator came in, took the other leg.
I believe it.
You sure it's the horse that's the problem?
Well, that's how life is. Bet you travel a lot. You a fool. Can't find yourself no home to live and grow and dying if you always moving. Can't build no roots down. Can't grow nothing up.
Maybe I don't want roots. How about that? I'm not looking to settle.
You think when was the last time you spent the week in the same bed? How long ago was that? I asked you. Bet it was a long time. No offense.
No, she's so true.
Wasn't no need. I never leave my home. Ain't no war, ain't no boss man, ain't no train gonna take that from me.
That's optimistic, ma'am. I'll say that.
No, mister. I die for me and mine, and that's the damn truth. No word of a lie. But you current, mister.
Well, thanks.
Okay, here's good. Thank you, mister. Please let me give you this on account of you being so kind.
But, oh, and a ring.
Hope I never have to be on that horse again, dang animals.
He's not a horse fan. Been playing this game a lot. It's been very peaceful, which is very different to how I normally play things. So it's been kind of interesting. I normally play games with a show on the side, almost exclusively. Unless I'm playing with other people, I'm watching something while I'm playing. Be it Minecraft or Vintage Story or whatever else. It's often pretty hard for me to play other games these days that's not me also watching stuff. It's one of the reasons I even stopped. I mean, probably not the reason I stopped streaming, but it's one of those things like when I was live streaming more often, well, I can't stream and just kind of play a game and watch a show because then I can't watch the show. So it's been kind of different to play this game, and at first I didn't for a while because I felt very bored playing it. The intro was kind of a slog. But getting past that and starting to get a little more invested into the game itself, I feel like I've shifted my mindset. But I've swapped how I kind of play. I'm a lot more slow and gradual now. I feel like when especially comparing to something like GTA, you know, made by the same people. Like, I'm like sprinting everywhere, I'm driving as fast as I can. Here, this is just kind of like the normal horse trot. I could go faster, like I could do this, where I'm like speeding my horse everywhere I go to be as fast as possible. I also probably could have quick traveled, but like I'm kind of not doing that. I'm kind of just playing in the world a little bit. I've stopped playing with the minimap on, and it feels really good. Playing like without anything else on and just kind of enjoying the scenery, because this game is fucking pretty. Just kind of wherever you look, it's a pretty game. Let me get the stuff I need and then I'll continue my thoughts. I want to mark down what things I want. I feel like I'm doing the same thing the character would be doing and checking what things this guy needs to build stuff we want and then marking it down to go out and just get it. So like two pronghorn. I know I wanted this. I like how this looks. One boar. I like this, I think. So we need one deer, one elk, one panther, which is gonna be, I think, an endeavor. There's also this one, which would be... I mean, this one actually wouldn't be bad. I'm gonna add these as additional things. So one beaver, one rabbit, and then it would be more deer. Okay, I think we have our list. There was like a party going on in camp and there was always little stories happening. And normally that's the kind of thing I would just kind of ignore and just go on to the next mission and just like beat the story game or whatever. I feel like in a lot of other games, this party would have been a mission, right? You go to the spot, you start the mission, it's like, the group's having a party, go talk to them all. And you would have had to, you know, walk up to everyone. The game would have forced you to walk. It would have had you go talk to this person or talk to all the people at the party, and you'd have to do that, and then it would end up with some final thing. And the game doesn't do that, which is really nice. It just kind of is like the party's going on, services may not be available, but you can, you know, do as you like. You can sleep through the night, you can whatever else. And I found myself just naturally going up to people, and like the game has this natural system where you can just like look at someone and like greet them or antagonize them. So I just kind of would talk to people and it would just chat with people at the party. I would go through and like listen, little different conversations and scenes were happening. I'd naturally find myself kind of in like a real party where you're in one group and they're talking and that kind of like fizzles. You go over to a different group who's talking about different stuff and you chat there a little bit and you like mix and mingle a little bit with everyone. And you like get to see everyone at the party just through little bursts. And it was really neat how it did that in a very like natural way. Felt very genuine. And the game does that a lot. There's a mission in this game where you have to get an oil barrel or an oil tankard or something, and you need to get it and bring it to another location. And the game doesn't give you that many details. Unlike most missions where you just go to the spot and then it's like, all right, you're gonna sneak over here and it's gonna like walk you through what you have to do for the mission step by step. This mission was different. It showed you where the oil carts were, and then you were told that you were going to bring them someplace north of Dewberry Creek. And that's all the information you had. It doesn't even tell you exactly where you're bringing them until you get the cart. It's very vague. In this mission where I had to go to these oil refineries, you go, you see these two oil tankers, you see guards, and you see there's a couple different exits you can go. So I go on a hill, I look through the binoculars, I see where they are, I see guards, I'm counting guards, I'm looking at like what's in the nearby area. Are my exit routes going to be? When I make a plan, like a whole heist, and it feels really cool. Because I feel like there's a lot of games that involve mechanics like you're going to do a heist or you're going to do this or that. And it's fun and it's cool, but it's all like in-game, right? It's all right, we're going to do a heist, and now you're going to follow these step-by-step instructions to the letter to do this heist, you know? There's not a lot of like you planning things. So I scope out these oil fields, and I feel really cool about it the whole time. And then I go and I enact the plan. I sneak over some crates to sneak inside. I get into the actual oil barrel, and then I like get out of there. And there's a whole chase, and ooh, legendary animal. What is this? A fox or something? Okay, maybe we do a legendary animal real quick. Yeah, I think we do. It was this whole scene that was completely done in-game, and I even mapped out like where is Dewberry Creek and like where roughly am I probably going to have to go so I could figure out the routes even though I didn't know exactly where it would go. And it just felt really cool and natural in a way that many other games I don't feel like accomplish. Because I feel like a lot of games don't achieve that. And so this game has a lot of interesting stuff going. I just kind of bounced off of it at first because it felt very slow, and I don't feel like I was playing at the game's pace. Because the game has a pace I think it wants you to play at, but I don't think that's super obvious, and the intro makes it really rough to get there. Coyote.
Must be a way off.
Was it back this way? Those are just crows. Gotta be on my guard so I don't get killed by a coyote. This game encourages you to play as if you are the actual character, and it feels really cool. Like, I spent hours just riding around, not using the minimap, trying to like navigate in game, and that just being enjoyable, as if I am just a cowboy out on the plains, on the range, you know. There's been like a lot of. Wait, is that it? Oh, it is. It was in front of me the whole time. I didn't even see. Is that its head? I think it is. Yeah. Oh, I didn't fuck that up by shooting it twice. I don't know, there's kind of a ridiculous amount of realism in this game. I don't know, it's one of those things where the realism in a lot of areas doesn't influence your actual gameplay that much, but it does feel like it impacts your experience. It feels like it helps bring you more into the world, and at least for me, it influences how I play it. Of how realistic it is makes me play in a specific kind of way. Because then I care a lot more about the characters or what happens. Like, there's been moments where characters I've known have died, and I've been like, no fucking way, that's like impactful. And there's a lot of characters in this game. Like, a lot of characters you kind of get to know, which I feel like I often struggle to like really know or remember a lot of characters in a game, especially if that game has a lot of characters. I just kind of glaze over it, and I'm like, there's like 2 people I know, and that's it. I could not tell you. I know the main characters of GTA, and I know there's that one guy who's Franklin's friend, and the car dealership guy, but those are also Lamar, that's who I'm thinking of. They're also guys who like show up really early in the game, and so it's not really like all that impressive. Like, I don't remember most of the other people. So that's to say, the game does a good job through its missions and structure and everything of making you be able to have a lot of moments with these little characters, plus the realism of it, that makes me kind of remember way more people than I normally do in these kinds of games. Back to the hunting I was doing, which evidently I'll probably get pulled off of again. This game is really good about pulling your attention away. In a way that's really fun, because I feel like there's a certain art to naturally having these little in-world moments that feels interactive and fun. Like, Skyrim does this really well too. Like, you'll have like little scenes happen that you can either follow up on or come back to later, or they matter in some way. And this game does it, I think, even better. Like, there was one moment I saved a guy from a snake bite. And then later on, I went to town, and there's a guy who's like, hey, you. And I actually recognized him. I was like, oh, it's Snakebite Guy. And then my character was like, oh, you're Snakebite Guy. And then he bought me, like, a free gun from the gun store. And I was like, because it doesn't happen very often, it feels cool, and it feels real. Not every good deed you do is going to result in you getting rewarded. That's not how it works. But occasionally that does come back to matter. This is actually kind of a thing I've talked to people about before in regards to Cyberpunk, ironically. Cyberpunk 2077? I'm definitely getting this wrong. The Cyberpunk game. Yeah, everyone knows the Cyberpunk game. We'll put a big screenshot on screen. Anyway, I've tried to play that game probably a dozen times, and I've struggled to get into it. I feel like a lot of it is because, like, I will do that sort of thing, same as I do in Skyrim, or what I do in this game, where I'll want to just go to a place, and it's not about just, I want to do the mission at the place. I want to discover some fun and have some fun along the way. Sometimes you can also just hear gunshots or hear someone yelling for help that's not even in the subtitles, and you'll have to, like, pay attention to what's going on. But that game, I struggled to do that because I feel like every time I go someplace, that doesn't really happen. I never had those moments. Like, occasionally there might be like a police fight or something, or some gangs or something, but there was never that element that really you felt like you could interact with. And I was talking to friends, and they're like, no, it's on your phone. I'm like, what? And so what's happening? Did I just hear? Oh, did I just run over a rabbit? That's crazy. Why did that happen? I wasn't even paying attention. The poor rabbit. Someone find the slow-mo rabbit kill. What's happening? So it has it on the phone. So as you are like driving around, you'll get like missions and people texting you and being like, oh, I need your help with this. but that feels so impersonal, and it feels like I don't care. You know, if I see a literal person in the woods, like, help me, or I hear some gunshots and some screaming, like, I have a lot more of an urgent need to do it, and like a personal, because I'm like, I saw this happen. Whereas if I'm just getting like a text, it's kind of like, well, I mean, how important is it? You're fucking texting me. You're not even calling me. You know? Like, this can't be that fulfilling. Okay, I want to go the opposite way of where I am. Because I actually already have deer. We want elk. When I slowed down to match this game's pace, the amount that happens in it feels very good and natural. And it's kind of the point of the tranquility. Like, the tranquility kind of makes it much better. And this was something I didn't quite hold on to at first. It's a concept I saw Brenly Mulligan and Matthew Mercer talk about on a short a while ago. And I won't try to explain their whole thing. Go find the short. It's about the concept of Ma, but essentially, like, these moments of tranquility making moments of action or what have you more impactful, and I absolutely feel it in this game. I spent so many hours riding through the forest, and it's very tranquil, it's very peaceful, I feel very at ease, I'm just kind of enjoying the beautiful sights, as if I was actually traveling myself. And so then when there is a bit of action and danger, it feels heightened because of the surrounding tranquility. It's kind of like the hardcore aspect, as I've been doing like hardcore Minecraft servers. Things are being attacked by wolves. Ooh, I'm gonna pull out a shotgun. Horse go, horse go. You okay, horse? Oh, this normal dog's now a wolf. This is sort of what I mean, in that the game really feels like it ramps up into these very exciting moments, naturally match the tranquil ones. And so you have these very brief... Whoa, I'm sorry. Sorry. I was just... Alright, I'm gonna walk away. I was gonna ride my horse, but I feel like you're not gonna be chill. I was running from wolves, sir. And I actually don't want you to shoot me, particularly because this video will end. I'm not done yapping. I don't know. It'll be a very short video. Oh boy. Like, what a weird interaction that you don't expect to have when you're just out hunting for elk. You just get these really nice moments of really genuine peace interspersed with the action. You do kind of get that feeling of, like, I kind of feel like I'm a cowboy. Hold on, where are we in regards to elk? We actually need to go back this way. Okay, let's follow the path around left, and then we'll look at crossing the river at some point. A moose. Oh my god, it's fucking huge. I think I'm gonna need the rifle. Do I want to take down a moose? Maybe we should study the moose, so I can tell how good it is. Okay, it's a 2-star moose. Also, I think we need the space for an elk. Or is this a moose? Maybe this is a moose and not elk. I don't know the difference between the icons. Is there a way to, like, tell? I don't think there is. I mean, maybe this is how I tell. Maybe this is me learning. This game teaches you a lot of stuff through just being natural. You know? It's like, do I learn if this icon means moose or elk? Well, I'm gonna go here, and if there are moose here, then it's moose, and if it's elk, then it's elk. And that, like, feels like such a natural way to play the game. Even in, like, hunting. You know, hunting is kind of simple and passive, but you get to, like, constantly make choices, because you go into an area, and it doesn't tell you where they are, and you're just kind of vaguely looking for animals. You can kind of tell where they are based on the map, but it's not guaranteed they'll be there. It's just the types of animals that are most often seen there. And so you go and you're looking for them. You maybe find a high spot like this, so you can, like, look down upon it, and you can, like, make strategies. And this kind of actually, I guess, brings me to some of the, like, navigation. It's why I don't play with a mini-map. This game feels incredible to navigate yourself. It is maybe some of the most rewarding experiences I've had. I've seen people talk about like not using the minimap in other games, and I'm like, I could never do that. I will just get lost all the time. And I do get lost. I do still use the minimap, because I'll do this to like kind of tap it and see where I'm going, or I set a waypoint or what have you. But playing without it in general feels really good. Wildly satisfying. You know, let's stop and... Oh, no, please don't shoot my... This game's controls are very clunky most of the time, and that is maybe the biggest complaint I have with it. It feels like... There's been so many times I have tried to tie up a man, and I end up just kicking him and murdering him. Like, it's fucked up. But playing this game with minimal UI, and, like, look at the screen right now. It is like I'm looking at a movie, but I'm controlling everything, and I know how to do everything. Okay, it's just a horse, I think. Is that horse upside down? What is that? Is it playing? I think it's playing. What the hell? Like, look at this. It's just rolling around. They're just having a good time. I've spooked the horse. Sorry, horse. I was just watching you. Oh, some pronghorns. I'm locked in now. So we need 2 of these. Which one is the good one? 2-star, 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 3-star. Like, even this, look how cinematic this is. Like, I was looking between them, I ran up alongside them. It's just cinematic. Everything in this game is kind of cinematic, which is also really cool. And you can tell that they tried to make this game feel like you are a cowboy from the movies.
Let me go, you shit-spit son of a bitch! This is a family affair, so get up and shoot me.
Let me go from here. Come on.
I wasn't kidnapping you.
Took your damn time.
What the?
Rotten pig fucker. Never did no right by me. Not since I was 6.
Well, glad you're feeling so good about all this.
So we got a pronghorn skin. This game, sense of like knowing where you are and where you've been and stuff, like learning the mechanics and using them over and over, like using the mechanics that you have learned through the game is really satisfying feeling. Hold on. Come on, come on, come on. Did I kill it? Yeah, I take him down with 1 arrow. It's really satisfying to like know where, because like there will be times I'm traveling and I'm like, oh, I know where I am. There's a point when I travel from Valentine to Rhodes. I might be able to do it vice versa, but it's much harder. And there's always a point where I come over a specific hill and I can see there's this little red farmhouse that's over the hill towards Rhodes. But I'll see the little farmhouse and I'm like, I know exactly where I am because that farmhouse is right next to where the camp spot was for when we stayed in Rhodes, and so I know that we are near Rhodes, and so I know how to get to Rhodes from there. And it's a really fun moment, and the game does it really well too through the story. The story kind of reinforces you learning where things are, and it's kind of what slowly got me to not use the minimap over time, because it puts you in different locations through the course of the story. And you might not think that matters, especially because like you don't have to really go to your camp too often other than to do missions. But because you're going to and from there so often, you kind of start to like get to a new spot and you like actually learn the town and you learn what's nearby and you learn the vibe. And so then you have these like memories from earlier in the game when it's like, oh, I miss when we stayed near Valentine, or oh, I miss when we did this. And it like adds this sense of like memories associated through phases of the game, and it feels very natural because, you know, like if you play Skyrim, like, you can buy a house but you don't really have a home, and even then I don't feel like you often go back to it that much, or it's much later in the game. You're almost always a wanderer, you know, and I'm a wanderer in this game, but a wanderer still has a base of operations that things take place from, and so I learned to associate different periods with that, and I can like look back on my memory and remember, oh, I remember going back and forth between Valentine and the roads to get there because I did it earlier in the game when we used to live over there, and I like know it by that connection to that memory that I feel like gets lost in something like Skyrim because, you know, I could have been doing the Assassin's Quest line, for example, in Skyrim, and I might never know when that happened. That could have been the beginning of my playthrough. That could have been near the end of my playthrough. I don't really know. There's no connection to what like section of the playthrough I did that thing. But in this, it's way easier to know because I'm like, oh, we were staying at Valentine at that point. Or, oh, we were staying at Rhodes at this point, so I kept having to walk through here. And it gives you this better sense of connection and knowledge about, like, I don't know, a weird association with locations and where they are and memory of when you, like, went through there. Because I associate Valentine most often when we were staying at Valentine. And so I think about that early point in my play session. I was still using the mini-map, or I was still learning things, and I felt more fresh. And now I feel more experienced as I've gone like further into it and we've gone to new places, right? That mimics how you do things in life, where like you can look back and be like, oh, I remember those, 5 years or whatever when I lived in Chicago. Or I remember these 3 years when I lived in this place, or I lived with my parents, or maybe when you went to college, and then you think back to that and you remember, oh, these are my old college streets, or oh, this is where my house was when I grew up, and you can, what are those goats or those rams? I got really psyched. I really swirled on these rams. It's an interesting thing being able to connect memories of like the passage of time with locations in a game, because I feel like I often can't do that in most games. You have a little bit of that in games, but I feel like it's a lot more limited, like you have that in Skyrim, like because everyone is like, oh, I know the beginning of Skyrim, so you know where Whiterun is, where maybe Riften. You probably know where Riften is. You're like, Riften's like mid-game, right? You know like a little bit of that. It's still so varied, because like I'll hear about people who, didn't go to Riften until way later in the game, or they went to this town or this town. And so I feel like you still get enough of those differing experiences, which actually, I don't know, I guess I'm not even talking about other people's experiences. I just even mean my own. I feel like it's just not as strong in Skyrim. I feel like I could never navigate in Skyrim to where I want to go. I think it comes back to that home thing. I think having that consistent place to go back to based on your progress through the story is what kind of grounds it a little bit, because you are forced to spend time around there, and then that is like phases of the game. But you can still have the ability to go back to that other place at any time. You just start to learn the entire map. I cannot use weapons in this area? Where the fuck am I? Hold on.
Howdy.
I wouldn't stay around here too long if I was you.
Okay. Alright, sir. I will leave. What the fuck did I just stumble into? Do you see how natural this game is? There's so few experiences I can have like this, People have always sought escapes, and a lot of times it's through books or through knitting, and some things people do together. People play games together. Some people will read together, like in the same room. But having like an experience like this that feels so, in some ways, almost like a life simulation of a life that you could never lead is so weird because of how detailed and intricate it is. In a way that really pulls you in, that you're never gonna quite match when you play like checkers. I like some checkers. It's never gonna quite make me feel the way I feel about this game, I'm honestly a little scared of finishing this game because I'm enjoying it so much. And so that's where I'm also not always doing every story mission. I'm going out on these little treks. But I will be interested to see how much of this game I can play, like, apologies. I'll be interested to see how much of this game I can play, like, after the main story is done. and what all things I can like do in the long term to play it. There's the online mode, but I feel like that mode is kind of sucky in a lot of ways, to be honest. It has a lot of issues. It's pretty goofy, but in terms of something to like play to relax, every other session I get has hackers, dude. Rockstar could have something incredible. They do have like, so I've heard there's like RP servers for this game, isn't there? So maybe that's what I would do, or I could try to get into. Like I said, I've been kind of RPing in-game almost, in a way that feels very natural to do in this game. Oh god. Like, I slow walk most places. Okay, the game said we can't go this way. Where the fuck am I? Alright, see, this is now where I have to check the map. Oh! Oh, it was an Indian reservation. I mean, that makes sense. Alright, well, we've reached the top of the map. I guess that's, yeah, just head east. I kind of forgot to be looking for animals, too, to be honest. I still need boar. I think boars are further south, though. And see, this is also, like, it's kind of, again, kind of interesting to be able to be like, I feel like boars are further south because I've played enough of this game to where I'm like, I know the boar. I've seen more boars south than the time I've been more southward, which is a cool feeling. And it's also that location memory thing of like, I remember when I started, like we started moving further south, I remember this different period of like, in the later part of the game, I saw more boars, hence therefore, when we were south, there were more boars. We're gonna take a quick break. We're gonna give our horse a quick break so we can give him some food. There you go, buddy. I pat my horse. See, this is what I mean about like RPing almost. Like, you know, when I play GTA, I've never stopped to really think, oh, I should get a car wash. Like, you know, maybe I should go do some, like, I've never really cared about much in GTA other than, all right, I did a mission, I'm gonna now go to the next mission. You know, that's also the thing in like a GTA is like, you kind of kill everyone and you like, I mean, not everyone, you know, but like in a mission or whatever else, you kind of kill a bunch of people and you don't really care because the game encourages you not to care. But in this game, it feels a lot more personal because like, I know early story spoilers for this game, pretty early on, I think, but there was at one point I went into Strawberry, I believe. Let me double check. Yeah, Strawberry. It was one of the first times I was going there to bust out Micah from prison. And so I did this like little trip and journey over there. And it's like, oh, this little town. I was like, okay, hold on. Before I bust him out, I'm going to stop in. I went to the general store and I bought a new coat. And I was like, I'm in a new town. I got a new coat. I'm feeling nice. I feel real good. I go over to the sheriff's station and I talk with them and they're like, get out of here or whatever. And so I find Micah and I go and we bust out and he's a fucking psychopath, this fucking guy, and he starts shooting up everyone and we break a bunch of shit and we shoot out half the town and we leave and escape on horseback. And I'm like, man, I just got there and got a new coat and then we killed everyone. That's real sad. You know, I felt like a connection to like this brief moment in this really pretty little town where I like went and saw a general store guy and like, you know, by having like that small interaction, it's like a connection to the town a little bit, and you like, you know, look at the people as you're coming into a brand new place, of brand new people, and then you immediately kill half of them and you're like, I just had some nice interactions here and now they feel like they've been sullied. Whereas, you know, I don't really feel that way in GTA. Who's whistling?
Would you be able to help me out again?
This guy again.
You see this purple flower here? This is sage, but I'll need to experiment with more of it before I can be sure of its effects. I found this one with his friends in the woods. I'd check wooded areas for more. Let's try this. Oh yes, I feel ready to take on the world. A man could go for days on this.
I do actually sleep a fair amount in this game, to be honest.
You've been a great help.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Like, I do have this sense of like taking care, because you take care of your horse and you take care of your gun. So the game, by its other mechanics, kind of encourages you to take care of everything, including yourself. So like more than once I've gone to town and I'm like, I'm gonna get a haircut because your hair will also grow longer over time, which is like a cool fucking thing. And so I'm like, I'm gonna go get a haircut because I had like a really long beard. And then I'm like, okay, well, now I'm gonna get like a bath and like clean up, have like a nice little day. Every once in a while, I'll buy new clothes for myself, which is also an interesting thing because like I feel like I normally don't really accessorize characters I play that much. I don't use customization mechanics very frequently. I don't really care about them, but in this game, I feel kind of encouraged to, and I feel like I really go out of my way to do so. Let's find some elk, hopefully. Well, I don't know where I am or what I'm doing. Put different footage on this. This footage is awful. Like, where the fuck am I? I feel like I've become lost. I just want to hunt. I need to find elk. Okay, there's a bull elk. It's only 2 stars. Where's that 2-star? Maybe that elk will lead.
Shit.
Oh boy, are you okay, boy? I'm sorry, I was being a real fool. I didn't realize there was a glyph. Oh boy, oh boy. You alright, buddy? Hey, buddy. Yeah, I know. That was not great driving on my part. I got distracted by the elk. Because I was hoping this elk might lead me to more elk, but I suspect it also won't do that.
Hey there.
Boy, is that a panther? Oh my god, it is. Or is it a wolf? Oh my god. There's simply no way. Horse. Perfect. Shotgun.
Stay there.
Like, what a fucking action scene. What? This was crazy. See, this is really one of those moments where it's like, I've been just kind of wandering through the wilderness and falling off a cliff after being chased by wolves and then shooting them with a shotgun was pretty fucking cool. And I feel like not a lot of other games have been able to give me this such a genuine feeling of existing in a world. I feel like it takes me a lot to like lock in on a game like this. I'm not finding a single goddamn elk. I have no idea where I am, which is such an exciting feeling. And you know, because I could also, and I've done this occasionally, like we can be like, okay, you know, it's late. Let's go. Let's make a camp. Let's make a little rainy camp. We've been traveling all day. You know, we can settle in. We've done a lot of hunting. We could cook some stuff. It's kind of rainy. I think that's craft a little bit, even though it's raining. We have so much meat. Oh, it's kind of stopped. Oh, isn't that nice? This is one of those weird things with this game too, where it's like, this game could have had like a cook all button and you just watch the screen, but I have to manually sit here, hit cook another, cook all 4 of these big games over the fire, and then stow them one by one. You would not think of this as gameplay, and it's so tedious where you can't even sit back and just watch it. But in the same vein, it makes it feel like what you're doing is legitimate. I think this is a good spot to end. If you have watched me ramble about mostly glazing Red Dead, to be honest, I don't know if one day we'll have a video where I die by the end of this, or if my rants will get cut off. For now, we keep ranting. Look at Arthur's smoldering face. If you're here watching this video, did you like it? Leave a comment. Let me know. I don't know. Sometimes people leave comments and it's very cool. Tell me how you're doing. Give me a game idea you have. I need game ideas. Anyway, tell me how you like this video. I find it very interesting to know if anyone gets to the ends of these weird podcast-like videos that I'm just kind of making weird-ass shit for fun. So, yeah, we're gonna be out. Goodbye.